Welcome, deep divers, to another journey into insights that, well, genuinely shape our lives. Today, we're peeling back the layers of a book that has truly taken the world by storm since its debut. We're talking about James Clear's amazing work, Atomic Habits.
Absolutely, it's everywhere.
It really is. And this book isn't just popular, it's like a cultural touchstone now.
Right.
Since 2018, what is it? Over 25 million copies sold, translated into more than 60 languages, and, for good reason. Its universal appeal lies in this remarkably simple yet profoundly effective promise. A clear, proven way to master your habit.
Building the good ones.
And crucially, dismantling the bad ones. And honestly, who among us hasn't wished for exactly that kind of clarity?
That's precisely it. And for this deep dive, our mission really is to cut through the vast amount of self-improvement advice out there. We want to extract the most practical, the truly transformative insights from Clear's work. We want to arm you, our listener, with a crystal clear understanding of its core principles. The goal isn't just knowledge, it's immediate actionable strategies, things you can start applying, like right away.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Because Clear's central argument, it sounds simple, but it can completely reframe how we think about change. He states, small habits make a big difference. Now, many of us, we chase those monumental overnight transformations, right? Assuming big changes need big effort.
Right, the quantum leap idea.
Exactly. But Clear argues that's exactly where we often go wrong. The true magic, the sort of counterintuitive genius, lies in something as tiny as a 1% daily improvement. It's often invisible day to day, yet it's this quiet, compounding force. It systematically overpowers our biggest goals, sometimes without us even realizing it's happening, until the results are just, well, undeniable.
That compounding effect is key.
And one of his most impactful quotes, for me anyway, really turns conventional wisdom on its head. He says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." When I first read that, it genuinely stopped me. What's the profound shift in perspective he's suggesting there?
Well, it's a fundamental paradigm shift. And I think it resonates so deeply because it acknowledges a common human frustration. We're often conditioned to fixate on the big, aspirational goals, the marathon, the promotion, learning a language fluently. We admire the destination.
Yeah, the finish line.
Right. But Clear argues success isn't primarily about the goal itself. It's about the underlying, often invisible daily routines and processes, the systems. Those systems make the goals not just achievable, but almost inevitable. If your system is solid, the goals often take care of themselves. It completely flips the script from purely outcome-based thinking to process-based thinking, which is, I think, incredibly empowering.
Okay, so less, I want this outcome, and more, what process do I need daily?
Exactly. Think about it. How often have you, maybe listening right now, set ambitious goals only to feel frustrated, maybe defeated, when you don't instantly achieve them? This concept suggests that by shifting your focus to those tiny daily adjustments within your system, you actually build a more robust and sustainable path. It's like building the runway, not just admiring the plane taking off. It's the consistent, almost invisible work behind the scenes that truly delivers the results.
That philosophy, focusing on systems, it's compelling, but the real challenge for many, myself included sometimes, is translating it into action. It's one thing to understand the why, but how do we actually engineer these habits? Does Clear offer a concrete framework for building those systems? What's his practical toolkit look like?
Oh, absolutely. And this is where the book becomes exceptionally practical, really useful. Clear doesn't just theorize. He provides this brilliant, actionable framework he calls the 4 laws of behavior change. These are designed to make habit formation almost foolproof, really, by working with our human nature rather than fighting against it.
Okay, the 4 laws. Let's dive in. The first is making your desired habit obvious. It sounds intuitive, but as Clary puts it, what's the quote? Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior.
That's a great one.
Yeah. What's less intuitive, perhaps, is how much our surroundings dictate our actions, often without us even realizing it. He gives simple, powerful examples. Want to read more? Don't hide your book on a shelf. Leave it right there on your pillow or maybe your coffee table.
Make it visible, make it easy to see.
Right. Or if you want to snack less, the real solution isn't just willpower. It's maybe not buying the snacks in the first place, or at least removing them from your immediate line of sight.
Precisely. And the beauty of these laws is their reversibility. It works both ways. If you want to stop a bad habit, you make it invisible. Take the effort.
Yep.
Put that remote control in a drawer, move your gaming console out of sight, or just don't have those unhealthy items in the house. Out of sight? Genuinely. often is out of mind. It significantly reduces the temptation and that initial trigger for the unwanted behavior. It's about engineering your environment for success.
That makes perfect sense. So once we've made a habit obvious, the next hurdle is often, well, wanting to do it consistently. Motivation, right? How do we make that internal drive easier to access? That brings us to Clear's second law. Make it attractive. How does he suggest we tap into our brain's reward system here?
Yeah, this law is about leveraging what Clear calls temptation bundling. It's a neat concept. It basically means pairing a habit you want to build with an activity you already enjoy, making the desired habit the sort of gateway to something pleasurable.
Okay, give me an example.
Sure, like if you're trying to get at the gym more consistently, maybe you only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast or that specific music playlist while you're working out. Suddenly, the workout isn't just a chore. It's the necessary step to access something you genuinely look forward to.
Right. I've definitely fallen into that trap of just trying to force myself through something I dread. It doesn't usually stick. So how do we authentically engineer that attraction beyond just willpower? And conversely, can we use this same principle to make bad habits less appealing?
Well, applying it in reverse is fascinating too. To make a bad habit unattractive, you consciously associate it with immediate negative outcomes, or you increase the mental friction involved. For instance, if you're trying to cut back on, say, social media scrolling, you might consciously tell yourself, every time I open this app unnecessarily, I'm taking 5 minutes away from reading that book I want to finish.
Yeah, creating an immediate internal cost.
Exactly. You create an immediate, albeit internal, negative association. It's about shifting the perceived value right there in the moment.
Okay, that leads us perfectly into law number 3, make it easy. Clear really nails this with the quote, reduce friction. When friction is low, habits are easy. This isn't just about willpower, it's about minimizing the actual effort required to start and complete a habit. Think about learning guitar. If your guitar is tucked away in a case, in the closet,
Yeah, layers of effort.
you're adding multiple layers of friction, opening the case, taking it out, maybe tuning it. But if it's on a stand right there in the living room, ready to be picked up, well, you're far more likely to practice, even for just 5 minutes.
And this raises such an important point about the sheer power of seemingly insignificant barriers. Clear's insight is that even tiny bits of friction can completely derail consistency. So if you want a good habit to stick, you need to make it absurdly easy. The 2-minute rule from the book is a great example. If a habit takes less than 2 minutes, just do it now. Start small.
Right, just get started.
Conversely, to break bad habits, you do the opposite. Make them difficult. Increase the friction. Put your phone in another room to charge overnight instead of beside your bed. Log out of social media apps every time you close them. Each extra step, each bit of friction might just give you enough time to reconsider and choose a different path.
Okay, obvious, attractive, easy. And finally, law number 4, make it satisfying. We are, fundamentally wired to repeat actions that feel rewarding, aren't we? Clear emphasizes the importance of immediate gratification, even if the long-term rewards of a habit are way off in the future. So celebrate those small wins. Finishing a workout, give yourself a mental high five, or track it on an app that visually shows your progress streak. That immediate burst of satisfaction acts as a powerful feedback loop.
It keeps the habit alive.
Yeah, fueling your motivation for the next time.
This connects directly to human psychology, really. Our immediate gratification loop. Our brains are designed to seek pleasure and avoid pain, and they often prioritize what feels good now over distant rewards. So if a good habit has an immediate positive reward, however small, we're far more likely to repeat it. And to make a bad habit unsatisfying,
How do you do that?
you need to introduce an immediate negative consequence. This could be as simple as having an accountability partner you have to, confess to if you skip your planned activity, or maybe a small financial penalty you impose on yourself for not following through. The key is making the pain or dissatisfaction of the bad habit immediate rather than delayed to break that psychological loop.
Okay, those 4 laws provide a really solid framework. But for me, one of the most powerful sections of Atomic Habits, and truly, this is where it gets, I think, genuinely transformative, is when Clear talks about the role of identity and habit formation. He presents this profound statement. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. That's a concept that really shifted my perspective. Could you elaborate on how that works?
Yeah, this part is huge. What's fascinating here is the distinction Clear draws between outcome-based habits and identity-based habits. Most of us start with outcome-based goals. I want to run a marathon, or I want to write a book. We focus on what we want to achieve. the result.
Right, the achievement itself.
But identity-based habits flip this entirely. Instead of focusing on the outcome, you focus on who you want to become. So instead of, I want to run a marathon, the shift is to, I am a runner. Instead of, I want to write a book, it's, I am a writer.
Focusing on the being, not just the doing.
Exactly. When you adopt an identity, every small action you take isn't just a task. It's a reinforcement of that identity. A runner doesn't just go for a run. They embody the identity of someone who runs. Each habit, no matter how small, becomes a vote for that desired identity. This shift from what I do to who I am can be truly life-changing for many people. It offers a deeper, more intrinsic motivation that goes beyond a specific goal and taps into your core sense of self-belief and, continuous evolution.
That's powerful stuff. So after exploring all these insights, you, listening, might be asking yourself, should you invest your time in reading Atomic Habits? Is it truly a valuable investment?
Good question.
And my answer is, well, a resounding yes. If you've ever struggled with consistency, if procrastination feels like your constant shadow, or if you simply want a clearer, more effective way to form new routines, then absolutely this book is for you. It's incredibly practical, it's an easy read, and it's just packed with immediately applicable examples you can put into practice like today.
And what's really striking here is that, while some might argue that the core ideas within Atomic Habits aren't entirely new,
You hear that sometimes.
right, the concepts of habit formation have been discussed by psychologists, philosophers for decades. But Clear's unique contribution isn't necessarily inventing completely new ideas from scratch. Instead, it's his, I think, unparalleled ability to organize, synthesize, and present these concepts with such exceptional clarity and conciseness. He takes a lot of disparate knowledge and weaves it into what truly feels like a highly effective, actionable manual for self-improvement.
That's a great point. How do you think he manages to make these established principles feel so fresh and accessible rather than just, rehashing old ground? What's his magic ingredient?
I think it's that systematic simplicity. He doesn't just tell you what to do. He explains why it works through accessible science, often with great stories. And then he gives you the exact how-to steps in that memorable 4 laws framework. In a world that's just drowning in information sometimes, that clarity and actionable synthesis is exactly what we need to finally put knowledge into practice. He turns theory into a tangible toolkit.
Well said. Okay, to wrap up this deep dive, let's leave you with one final, impactful quote from Atomic Habits that truly captures its essence. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement.
Love that analogy.
It's a beautiful analogy, isn't it? Just as money multiplies and grows exponentially through compound interest over time, the effects of your consistent habits, those small atomic actions, multiply and accumulate into incredible, often unforeseen results. Each little win, each tiny step isn't just isolated, it's building on all the ones before it, creating this powerful momentum for profound, lasting change.
So maybe the question isn't really, can I change? But rather, what small, almost invisible habit do I want to start today that will systematically build the person I aspire to become tomorrow?
What a thought to ponder. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Atomic Habits. We genuinely encourage you to reflect on your own habits, big and small, and perhaps find that 1% improvement you can make today. It might just be the most powerful vote you cast for your future self. We'll be back soon with another deep dive. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep building the best version of yourself, one atomic habit at a time.
Subscribe to the Timeless Tales podcast. Your stories, your time.